mother of our dearest Lord, Sri Satya Sai Baba. She left her mortal form on May 6, 1972, in the presence of Swami, with Swami's divine name on her lips. Mother Eshwaramma had a noble desire. She requested Swami to build a school, a hospital, and provide drinking water to everyone in Puttaparthi. Before she passed away, Swami fulfilled all her 3 wishes. Swami says that there are many noble mothers in this world, but Eshwaramma was the chosen one. I chose her to be my mother. Mothers, Bhagwan says, have the unique privilege of infusing the first seeds of spirituality and human values in their children. Bhagwan lays equal emphasis on children revering their mothers. Baba reminds them of Rama's words, "Mother and motherland are greater than heaven itself, and parents are the visible embodiment of God." Tomorrow, being Mother's Day, we want to wish all the mothers have a happy Mother's Day. Our next program is called Kindness. This is an inspirational short story based on the power of giving and exactly defines how, by giving, we can receive selflessness accompanied by bliss and joy. The kids in this skit are Tanmay, Rohan, Rashid, and Bhargav. One day, a gentleman was walking down the street when he spied a beggar sitting on the corner. The man was elderly, unshaven, and ragged. As he sat there, pedestrians walked by him, giving him dirty looks. They clearly wanted nothing to do with him because of who he was, a dirty homeless man. But when he saw him, the gentleman was moved to compassion. It was very cold that day, and the man had his tattered coat, more like an old suit rather than a warm coat, wrapped around him. He stopped and looked down.
"Sir, are you all right?"
The old man slowly looked up. There was a gentleman standing in front of him. His coat was new. He looked like that he had never missed a meal in his life. Then, old man's first thought was that the gentleman wanted to make fun of him, like so many others had done before.
Leave me alone.
To his amazement, the gentleman continued standing. He was smiling.
"Sir, are you hungry?"
No, I've been just dining with the president. Now leave me alone.
The gentleman's smile became even broader. Suddenly, the old man felt a gentle hand under his arm.
What are you doing? I told you to leave me alone.
Just then, a policeman came up.
Is there any problem here, sir?
"No problem here, officer. I'm just trying to get this old man to his feet. Will you help me?"
That's old Jack. He's been a fixture around here for a couple of years. What do you want with him?
"See that cafeteria over there? I want to get him out of the cold and get him something to eat."
Are you kidding me? I don't want to go in there.
Then, he felt strong hands grab his other arm and lift him up.
What are you doing, officer? I didn't do anything.
This is a good deal for you, Jack. Don't blow it.
Finally, and with some difficulty, the gentleman and the police officer got Jack into the cafeteria and sat him at a table in a remote corner. It was the middle of the morning, so most of the breakfast crowd had already left, and the lunch bunch had not yet arrived. The manager strode across the cafeteria and stood by the table.
"What's going on here, officer? What's all this? Is this man in trouble?"
This gentleman brought this man in here to be fed.
"Not in here. A person like this is bad for business."
See? I told you I didn't want to come in here. Now let me go.
The gentleman turned to the cafeteria manager and smiled.
"Sir, have you heard of Eddie and Incorporate, the banking firm down the street?" "Of course I have. They hold their weekly meetings in one of my banquet rooms." "And in that weekly meetings, do you make a good profit of providing food?" "What business is that of yours?" "I, sir, am Eddie, president and CEO of that company." "Oh, I thought that might make a difference." "Do you want to join us in our conversation with a cup of coffee and a meal?"
No thanks, I'm on duty.
How about a cup of coffee to go?
Yes, sir. That'll be very nice.
I'll get you a coffee right away, sir. Officer.
You certainly put him in his place.
That was not my intent. Believe it or not, I have a reason for all this.
The gentleman sat down at the table across from his amazed dinner guest and stared at him intently.
Jack, do you remember me?
Old Jack searched his face with his old rheumy eyes.
I think so. I mean, you do look familiar.
I may have filled out more than my younger days and grown when you worked here and I came through that very door cold and hungry.
Sir?
I was just out of college. I went to the city looking for a job. I found nothing. Finally, I was up to my last few cents. They kicked me out of my apartment. I was roaming the streets for days. It was February, and it was cold, and I was nearly starving. Then I met this place. I went for the off chance to come here and get something good to eat.
Now I remember. You came through those very doors cold and hungry and asked if you could work for food. I said it was against company policy.
I know. Then you made me the biggest veggie sandwich I've ever seen and told me to sit in the corner. I was worried you would get in trouble. But then I saw you put the price of my food into the cash register. Then I knew everything would be fine.
So you started your own company?
I got a job that very same day. I worked my way up. Eventually, I started my own business. With the help of God, it prospered. Here, I want you to talk to Mr. Lawrence. He's the personnel director of my company. I'm sure he'll find a job for you around the office. And I'm sure he'll find some funds for you to get a house and some clothes. And if there's any help, my door is open.
How can I ever thank you?
Don't thank me. Thank God. God goes the glory. Thank Swami. He led me to you.
Outside the cafeteria, the officer and the gentleman paused at the entrance before going their separate ways.
Thank you for all your help, officer.
On the contrary, Eddie. Thank you. I saw a miracle, something that I will never forget. And thank you, coffee.
I forgot to ask you whether you wanted cream or sugar. That's black.
Yes, I do take cream and sugar. Perhaps more sugar than is good for me.
I'm sorry.
I don't need it now. I've got the feeling that this coffee you brought me is gonna taste as sweet as sugar.
Swami's message: all service should be regarded as an offering to God, and every opportunity to serve should be welcomed as a gift from God. When service is done in this spirit, it will lead to self-realization. If you lift the hand to serve, to help, to console, to encourage another man, you're lifting it for God, because in every man there is God. Our next skit will be The Indian Cinderella. The moral of this Native American story is that honesty is always rewarded and dishonesty is always punished. The girls in this skit are Madhuri, Shreya, Isha, Meher, Mahania, Advitya, Riya, Hanita, and Sai Bhavna.
The Indian Cinderella. On the shores of a wide bay on the Atlantic coast, there lived a great Indian warrior. He was one of the Glooskap's best helpers and friends, had done wonderful deeds for him. He had a strange and wonderful power. He could make himself invisible. Thus he would mingle unseen with his enemies and get to know their plans. He lived with his sister near the sea. He was known as Strongwind, the Invisible. There were many girls who would have been happy to marry him. In fact, many tried, but none succeeded.
Oh, brother, welcome home. You must be tired. I have cooked a wonderful dinner for you.
Thank you, dear sister. We have fought a long battle with the Glooskop's enemy and we routed them.
That is wonderful. Now you can rest for some time.
They sit down to eat. While eating, the sister seems to be in deep thought.
Sister, what are you thinking about? You seem lost in thought.
Yes, brother, I am thinking that it is time for you to get married.
I will only marry an honest girl.
How will I find out if a girl is honest or not?
I will give them a test. I will marry the first girl who is able to come home as I see.
Many girls made the trial, but it would be a long time before anyone succeeded. Strongwind used a clever trick to test the honesty of the girl who wanted to marry him. During evenings, Strongwind would arrive home. At that time, his sister would walk on the beach with the girl who wished to marry him.
Hello, dear. Do you see Strongwind coming?
Oh, yes.
So with what does he draw his sled?
With the pole.
No, you are wrong. You lied to me.
On another day,
Do you see him?
Oh, yes.
Really? So with what does he draw his sled?
With the thick rope.
No, you are wrong. You lied to me.
and so it went on and on. Many tried and failed. Strongwind would not marry them since they were untruthful. There lived in the village a great sheep who had 3 daughters. Their mother died long ago. The youngest daughter was gentle, lovely, and loved by all. Her sisters were jealous of her beauty and popularity and treated her cruelly. They cut off her long black hair and scarred her face. But she had a gentle heart and went about her work with love.
I heard Strongman is looking for a beautiful girl to marry. Let us go before the youngest one finds out.
So saying, they leave the house and arrive at Strongman's house.
Hello, dears. Why have you come?
We have come to pass the test and have one of us marry the brave Strongwind.
Okay, let us take a walk on the beach and wait for my brother to arrive.
Let's go.
Do you see him?
Of course I see him.
Then what is the color of his shoulder strap?
Well, it is made of rawhide.
Let us enter the tent. If you can see my brother, you can marry him.
They peep into the tent.
I can see his coat. And I can see his shoe. But where is he?
You cannot see him because you both lied to me. You have both failed the test. Go your way.
The 2 stepsisters are disappointed and walk away. Now the chief's youngest daughter resolved to take the Strongman's test. She patches her torn clothes, wears her trinkets, and goes her way.
Here goes the beautiful one to marry Strongwind. Do you really believe you can marry Strongwind with a torn dress and scarred face?
Strongwind's sister receives her kindly.
Hello, dear. What can I do for you?
I've come to take the test.
Let us take a walk on the beach and wait for my brother to arrive.
Strongwind comes down the path.
Do you see him?
No, I don't see him.
Do you see him now?
Yes, I see him now. He looks wonderful.
With what does he draw his sled?
With the rainbow.
Of what is his bowstring made of?
His bowstring is the Milky Way.
You have certainly spoken the truth. Your honesty and truthfulness will be rewarded. My brother will marry you.
Strongwind married Cinderella and they lived a happy life. Cinderella helped him do even greater deeds and made him proud. As for the 2 sisters, Strongwind, using his great power, turned them into aspen trees and rooted them to the earth. And even to this day, their leaves tremble with fear at his approach.
The next item is the skit Swami for Tea. The message provided in this skit is to see God in everyone you meet. God can manifest in any form. See God in everything you handle. Kids in this skit are Rishi, Shashank, Kiran, and Rohit.
A man once had a dream. In that dream, his telephone rang, and the voice at the other end said, "This is Swami. I'm coming for tea with you this afternoon at 4 p.m. The man was highly excited at the thought of Swami coming for tea with him. But then he thought,
What can I give Swami to eat? I know. I will ask my wife to make my favorite vadas and gulab jamun. Everybody likes those.
And then he remembered that his house needed to be cleaned up. So he set to work helping his wife in cleaning up the house. At 3:30 p.m., someone knocked.
Oh no, Swami is early and I still have not finished my cleaning or helped my wife fry those vadas.
On opening the door, the man discovered that it wasn't Swami, but rather an old man.
I wonder if you could help me out. I lost my job a few months ago.
I wonder if you could help me out. I lost my job a few months ago, and as I hadn't got enough money to pay the rent on my home, I was evicted this morning. I have nowhere to stay, no money for food, and it is bitterly cold out here. Could you possibly give me a few dollars so I could go and get a warm cup of coffee?
I would like to help you. I really would, but I just can't spare you the time. I have Swami coming for tea with me at 4 p.m., and I'm not ready for him yet. Why don't you go ask one of my neighbors? I'm sure one of them will be able to help you.
Okay.
The man closed the door and finished off his cleaning. At 3:45 p.m., someone knocked once again.
Oh no, Swami is early. I have finished my cleaning, but I still have to help my wife fry those vadas.
This time, it wasn't Swami, but a young boy shivering in the cold in his thin clothing.
It is bitterly cold out here, and my clothes are so thin. I was wondering if you have any old clothes that you could let me have that are a little warmer than these.
I do have some warm clothes in the attic, and I think they would fit you very well. But I cannot look for them right now, because I have Swami coming for tea with me shortly.
Okay.
Why don't you come back tomorrow, when I have plenty of time to look for clothes for you?
The man closed the door and finished frying his wares. Now he was ready for Swami. At 4 p.m., someone knocked for the third time.
Ah, just as I thought. Swami is right on time.
This time, however, a little boy stood on his doorstep.
Please, can you help me? I've nothing to eat all day. Could you give me some food?
I've just finished frying some vadas, and I think you will enjoy them. But I cannot let you have them right now. I have made those vadas for Swami, and it wouldn't be right to offer them to you first without first offering it to Swami. But if you come back tomorrow, you can have all the leftover vadas and gulab jamun there is.
The man shut the door and began to wait for Swami's arrival. At 4:30, Swami still hadn't arrived, and at 5 p.m. the man was still waiting. By 5:30, he began to think that Swami wasn't going to come. At 6 p.m., his cell phone rang. The voice at the other end said, "This is Swami."
Swami, where have you been? You told me you were going to come for tea with me this afternoon. Why didn't you come?
Swami replied, "But I did come. In fact, I came 3 times, and each time you sent me away with nothing."
Oh, Swami, you came in so many forms, but I failed to see you.
Swami's message: see God in everyone that you meet. See God in everything that you handle. His majesty is immanent in all that is material and non-material. This whole creation is an expression of His majesty. God has His hands in all handiwork, His feet at all heights, His eyes beyond all horizons, and His face before every form. Om Sarah.
Now, there will be a concluding song sung by all the children called Mangalam.
Now our children are going to sing a Mangalam. May I request you parents, they are going to sing once, and those of you who know it, I'm sure you would all know it, and if you can follow them, we would really appreciate that. Sai Ram.
रामचंद्राय जनकराज मनोहराय मामकाभीष्टदाय मणितमङ्गलम् रामचंद्राय जनकराज मनोहराय मामकाभीष्टदाय मणितमङ्गलम् चारुकुङ्कुमोपेतचन्दनानुचर्चिताय हारकटकशोभिताय
Today's program, we are going to sing one Nigamanta Magadeshikar Mangalam, which is very appealing. Nabi.
Kavita Simhaya Kalya